Hello and welcome to episode number 81 of A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony, and this podcast is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists learn all about how to grow their business while in the meantime sidestepping all of the bad stuff that comes our way. So I am happy to be coming to you tonight. I've got an awesome episode. Richard from the group had asked a question, and I wanted to answer it on the podcast tonight. The question is, when you are using your Instagram account and you're doing some work on there and you're promoting yourself and you're posting, where should you send people when they're going to your profile? Should you send them to your webpage, or should you send them to, like, for example, Fiverr? All right, I think this is a fantastic topic, and I'm excited to talk about it. Okay, so I am back, and I'm excited to be talking to you about this topic. Thank you, Richard. I was looking through the Facebook site, and I saw that Richard had posted this, and there were some people who answered and gave their opinion. Thank you. And I wanted to chime in because I've been meaning to do a podcast about this very topic, social media in general, as a voiceover artist. But I love where this is going because I have used Instagram in many different ways for different parts of my business. And, you know, it has, I wouldn't want to venture to say it has been a great success on maybe the front end, but just like any other social media, it has definitely helped drive traffic, bring awareness to who I am and my brand on both ends, not just for my voiceover business, but also for my coaching part of my business. So, you know, I am a big advocate of Instagram. I don't know if many of you, if you listen to the podcast, you know that I interviewed Brett Hagel a while back. Brent Hagel, he's an awesome guy, voiceover trailer guy, and he talked a lot about his Instagram use and how he's used Instagram to, really grow his business. So, I thought, wow, after that interview especially, I was like, man, I've got to get on Instagram and start really doing this. And there is kind of a formula that you can use on Instagram for driving traffic. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. But to answer Richard's question, I think this is a great question. And it's not just Instagram. I think this goes across the board for Twitter, LinkedIn, for any sort of social media site where you're posting. And, the whole point of us, posting on these sites, if we're doing it from a business standpoint, right, is to get business. But as we know, social media is a different beast. It's social. It's not sellable, right? It's social. So the aspect of, what you're posting, where you're sending people is very important. And I had this idea a while ago, maybe it was about a couple weeks ago, because, I was looking around at a lot of voiceover artists, and including myself. And, one of the things I noticed was that many of us post on social media, but we don't really have a rhyme or reason. We're posting because someone told us to. We've watched 25 videos from Gary Vaynerchuk, who says everyone and their sister needs to be posting on social media, but you can't directly post things asking for people's business because that's not how social media works. You got to do this way, you got to do that way. It's very confusing, especially for, and I'm just going to say us people who are maybe a little bit older than the younger crowd who grew up with social media, for those of us who didn't grow up with cell phones at all. So, I think that, it has dawned on me that I noticed that there are a lot of people using social media completely wrong. I have done it. I have failed over and over again. I still fail today on social media. It's interesting because I know what I'm supposed to do, but it's a challenge. I mean, it's not easy. Just because it's free doesn't make it easy at all. It's quite difficult. But, I do think that I see people wasting time because what they're doing is that they're they're just randomly posting things on social media. There's no clear path about what the point is of your business posting on social media, because as your business posts on social media, there is a reason why you're posting. You know what I mean? It's not just to share with people your personal affection of cats, although you could build a business around that, and many people have. But for our sakes, because we're doing voiceover, we're going to be doing something revolving around voiceover. But here's the thing. People are posting on social media, and let's take Instagram, for example, because this is what Richard was asking. And the idea is now we've posted something. Okay, whether it was a video, 60 seconds or less, because that's Instagram, or it was some sort of artwork or some sort of copy that we've posted on there. And now what? What is the whole point of it? Because as you know, Instagram, for example, you can't put a link in your post. The only link that Instagram allows you to do is on the profile. However, I have found that because of that link on the profile, it actually, for me, it's increased the amount of people who actually click on the link, because I think there's less distraction of links in the feeds and so forth. So those clicks, if you will, are not getting eaten up by all the variety or random links that can be in a post. Just like Twitter, there's so many links in your feed. There's just, you couldn't click on all of them if you tried. It's just too much. So the idea that somebody sees your picture, goes to your profile, clicks on it. Okay, there's two things there. So but let me stay on topic and I get to you, Richard. So the first idea I was saying is that I see people doing it wrong because what they're doing, again, is they have no point. And here's what I wanted to make. If you are posting on social media, just a post on social media because someone told you or you heard somewhere that you should post on social media, you are wasting your time. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you shouldn't learn what you need to use on social media, but social media is definitely a long-term project. It is not a short-term, I'm going to post something now and 5 minutes later I get business. Could that happen? Sure. Does that happen? No, not. It's never happened to me. That doesn't mean it's not happened to you, but it's never happened to me. And in fact, a lot of the business you see from social media is really, more so of generating leads, meeting people, networking, and then through a person, you get some traction, or, you know what I mean? Or somebody found you somewhere else because they heard about you over here. You know what I mean? It's a very different style of working. But anyways, I see people doing it wrong. And, I always like what the idea of what makes you money in voiceover, and this is important. So there's I always been told there's always two actions that make you money in voiceover, right? It's auditioning, okay, and it's marketing. So with those two things, doing them is what generates income. All of the other things are just a necessary expense that you have to pay in order to make your voiceover business work. So if you are not auditioning or marketing, okay, you're not making money. You're not, generating any actions that's going to bring in revenue. All of the other things you're doing is just a part of your business that you have to do. So with that in mind, if you're not doing social media correctly, you're not marketing right. And if you're not marketing right, you are wasting time and you are making no money from your efforts, okay? So this actually leads perfectly into what Richard is asking. And, again, Richard asked in the group, the Facebook group. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, it's a VO's Journey, and check that out. It's on Facebook. It's a closed group, but go ahead and ask for an invite, and I'd be happy to take you in. And Richard asked the question, I've been on Instagram now. I'm getting some traction, and I feel like it's time for me to start promoting myself. How should I do that? Should I send people to my Fiverr page, or should I send people to my website? And I love this question because it is definitely something that I have myself done multiple things with. So let me tell you what my thoughts are. And here we go. You know, in the past, if you've listened to my podcast about how I feel about your website, websites are something that you have to actively use and you have to actively pursue in order to make it work. So if you have a voiceover website and you are not actively using it, it's not doing anything for you. Okay? People aren't just going to randomly find your website. Doesn't work that way. The internet is way too big. If anything, if you have a website, it's like a holding place for your demo so that you could send people a link to go to your website. But if you are just starting out, and this is something that I firmly believe, you're not going to have the ability to show people all of the cool graphics of all of the amazing companies you worked for and wow them with all the amazingness that you've done because you're brand new. So, now that, again, these are just my opinions, okay? But I've just noticed that my voiceover website has done little to no business for me. Now, I have not pushed myself to build out that website. I have another website for my coaching side of my business, which I absolutely love. And I've not even had a chance to build out that as much as I want, but I run a lot of business through that site. But that's an active place that I send people. And now that I send people there, it has picked up a little traction. But anyways, the point is that, if you do not feel, and this is important, and this is really important, Richard and everybody else, if you do not feel that your website is like the site that someone's going to go to and crap their pants because it is so stinking incredible, don't send them to your website. Now, this might get some flack, and I understand. But listen, this is important because when somebody sees your Instagram, and let's say your Instagram is on point, right? And they're excited and they want to check out more about what you're offering. And then they go to your profile because you've directed them there and they click on the link. Then they go to a link and your website looks like junk. They're going to be like, this person is not a professional whatsoever. And then you have lost the opportunity. You have wasted your time. That lead will never come back. And that is something that you have to really take seriously. Okay? The second, I'm going to give you 3 options. Okay? The first option is send people to the website. Now listen, if you have a website where you feel it is like, it is going to wow people, okay? It might still be a good idea for you to send them there. But the general idea of websites for voiceover artists is that we have a single page, and I do this too. I have this, you guys, so I'm telling you from personal experience. You have a single page with your voiceover reel on it or different samples, and you have just a little bit of information on the right or left side or on the left side with your sample on the right or vice versa, and that's it. That's all you need is what we've been told. Well, I personally think that's full of, beep, right? Because that's not all we need. People aren't just going to go to your website and look at it unless you have found people who are hot. And what I mean by that is hot leads, people who are right away looking to hire you at that moment and need to make a decision. Now, there are people out there, but at that point, if they're going to do that, they're probably most likely going to have a conversation with you, via email or something like that. So you got to think about that. The second thing is the question that Richard asked was, should I send them to Fiverr? So I have mixed feelings about this as well. As you know, I love Fiverr and I use Fiverr quite a bit. And I've actually sent people to Fiverr. And every time I've sent people to Fiverr, my numbers have skyrocketed. Okay, but here's the thing. Because Fiverr has not yet, although on a side note, I don't know if many of you saw, but I posted that I had received an email from Fiverr the other day, which I'm very excited about. Apparently, they said they want to bring me into their seller success program where I get like a private consultant on helping me grow my business on Fiverr. I was really excited about it. I mean, I have a phone call with them next week. So I guess with my private consultant, which is really awesome. I'm thrilled. I didn't even know I didn't even know they had a program like that on Fiverr. So, but apparently they've had it for a couple of years, and there's like just a couple hundred people that are in the group. It's a closed group, and Fiverr offers it, I guess, to sellers. I knew I made good money on Fiverr. You know, I've at this point I'm about at $35,000, but I never knew that you know what I mean? Anyways, I didn't think I was that good. So we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? It might not be very much. It might be just something random, or it might be really cool. You know, as you know, I've been trying to become a top-rated seller. So hopefully this will lead me to that place. Maybe they feel like I need some tutelage before I can become a top-rated seller. Anyways, so the point is, getting back to sending them to Fiverr. Fiverr is the platform itself is amazing. It really is. No matter what anyone says about Fiverr, the platform itself, from a point of view of the setup of it, the flow of it, of a customer seeing your video, being able to type in the words, seeing a description about you, being able to purchase extras, being able to do everything that you need to do and see and get information and learn about you all in one area and set up very easily. I've never seen any place as nicely done as Fiverr. No other site is. You know, Fiverr charges you, right? Because, you know, you got to pay 20%. But it still is quite incredible in my opinion, my humble opinion. However, again, if you are sending people to Fiverr, okay, my opinion to that is that unless they are super hot, they're going to go there and they're going to tuck that away. And you're going to lose that lead. Because I want you to think about all these people that we are sending from our efforts on social media. They are leads, right? Leads meaning they are people that could lead to business. They're not business yet. They've not signed up to do business with us. They're just thinking about it, and it's a lead. So what we want to do with the lead is we want to capture information from them so that we can reach back out to them. That is the hardest thing, and that's the allure of Fiverr, you guys, that all of us love. Let's admit it. I love it, and I will come out and say it. I love the idea of being anywhere and someone has found my Fiverr gig, orders from me, and I've done nothing. I've just been out. I love that. I know we all love it. But the reality is that is a falsehood of, well, it's not a falsehood, but it is Fiverr generated. They generated the hot leads because people have come there based on their advertising looking for a voiceover artist. And since they are looking for a voiceover artist, they are shopping. They have come to the department store. They are shopping. Okay? So they're already there to buy something. We are sending people to somewhere as a lead, okay, that most likely is not quite ready to buy something. So we need to find a way to capture their information so that we can continue to reach out for them and to build that relationship. So here is my suggestion, Richard, and this is my suggestion to everybody, and this is what I'm currently doing on my Instagram, and it's starting to work quite well, and I'm very excited about it. Basically, what you need to do is you need to send people to some sort of opt-in. Now, depending on what options you have with your website, but you can use some free places like MailChimp or something that you can create an opt-in page. So basically, you are going to offer them something, okay? Whether it is a sign up to your newsletter where you're going to send out a weekly State of the Union type of how your business is doing, what project you're working on. Maybe you send out some white pages, which are simply just a page or two of information about something like I do stuff on Fiverr. You know what I mean? You can do that. Or you can offer a free video. You can offer 20% off. You can offer whatever you want, but you're trying to get people to give you their email address. Okay? And once you get that email address and you collect it, that we call it an opt-in. They opt in to allowing you to use their email address to contact them further about your products and your services. Okay? So once you get that information, now you have the beginnings of your email list. And there was another gentleman, and I'm sorry if I forgot the person's name, who had answered about wanting to create their own clientele that's their own. I am 100% behind that. I think that is very important. All right. So in order to do that, the way to do it is through that email list. Every contact we make, every person we meet or on social media, through phone calls, through emails, every contact we make, our goal should be to try to get them into our email list. All right. And I'll be square with you guys too, because if you're most likely, if you're listening to this, well, not most likely, but if you're part of the Facebook group, chances are you're on my email list. I don't send a lot of emails. All right. Some people might like that, but people are like, yeah, you could. I've been thinking about recently starting a weekly newsletter. I think people would probably really like that. They've signed up for my stuff, but basically I'm doing that on Instagram. Through my posts, I have a link on my profile that sends them to something where they can sign up or they can opt in to get some white pages on some tips from Fiverr. They're general tips and great tips, but they're tips that are free, and you get those tips, and then from that you get an email where you can actually join my Facebook group. But by signing up, by opting in, you have to give me your email address. And from that email address, then you opt in to being emailed from me about my services and things like that and information. So, it's a great lead generator. And I had to tell you guys, I started this a little while ago, maybe a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, and I've already gotten 30 leads from it. And that's fantastic. Now, mind you, this is for my coaching business, okay? And this is also where people I promote to join the Facebook group because I'm trying to join that. But you can just as well do that for, your voiceover business. And if you want to drive people to your website or Fiverr, just think about, don't send them. It's like, I love that idea. It's like us guys, right? We're dummies when it comes to trying to figure out women sometimes, but I know I am. But like literally, you don't go for the kiss right when you first meet someone, right when you first meet the girl, right? You don't kiss her right away. You got to take her out on a date or something, right? You got to do something first, in order to get that kiss. I don't want to go anymore with that. But the point I'm trying to make is that we've got to wine and dine these people first. Can't expect them to just buy right away. You've got to do something, okay, in order to build that relationship, build trust. So I really want you to think about as capturing a lead and then growing that relationship and then offering products that are available to them vis-a-vis your voiceover services. Okay? I hope that this really helped tonight. And and if you have questions, please leave some comments. I think this is a great topic, because I was going to say too, if you're not doing this, don't waste your time on marketing on social media. It's a waste then if you're not doing those specific things. Okay? So I really do believe that if you are doing those things, it is going to work out for you. If not, don't waste your time. You'll get way better results by just personally emailing companies and making phone calls than you will wasting your time on social media if you're not doing it right. If you are doing it right and you've got it dialed in, social media is by far the best way to generate leads and to build your brand, because it can be very cheap, and we haven't even gotten into running ads. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you're not doing that, don't waste your time. Don't post because someone told you to post. People made a lot of money. People continue to make a lot of money through voiceover without using social media. Is that smart? I don't think so. But I'm trying to make a point to you here. Hopefully you get it. You don't need social media to make a career in this business. But if you are going to use social media, please make sure you're using it right. Okay? And a great way to learn, as always, is to look at YouTube, find videos, get books. I've been reading. I read a great book about Instagram marketing for businesses 101, kind of stuff like that. Like I like I like to get books too, not just YouTube videos. And the book was fantastic. Probably by far the best book on Instagram I've ever read. Actually, it's right here. It's a shame. I'm not making any. I'm just showing you guys this book. It's called Instagram for Business: The Ultimate Guide to Instagram for Business by Kim Walsh Phillips. And I read that. It's absolutely amazing. And it has already had, benefits for me. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, thank you again so much. You know what? Share this episode with somebody who you think needs to hear it, because I think this is a really good episode. Richard, thank you so much for asking this question. It is such an important question today. Probably should have many more discussions about this, even more videos and podcasts in the future. So thank you again, Richard, for that question. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Please go ahead and make sure you're signed up to the Facebook group of VO's Journey, and I look forward to working with you all and talking to you in the future. All right? You have a wonderful evening. Peace.